Okay, let's start with a frankly terrifying statistic. Did you know that biologists estimate mosquitoes have killed roughly half of all humans that have ever been born? I mean, half. Think about that for a second. It is a stunning number. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating, complex biology of the world's deadliest animal, and we'll explore a revolutionary biological weapon that scientists are using to fight back. So let's dive right in.
To give you a quick roadmap of the incredible ground we're going to cover today, here are 5 spectacular science facts that perfectly sum up our journey. Number 1. Despite being so tiny, they are literally the deadliest animals on Earth because of the pathogens they carry. Number 2. Only the females drink our blood. The males are actually just harmless nectar drinkers. Number 3. They're basically biological heat-seeking missiles, tracking us using the carbon dioxide we exhale in our body heat. Number 4. It's not the physical bite that makes you sick, it's the saliva they inject. And number 5. Science is finally turning the tide by weaponizing a quote-unquote selfish bacterium against them.
Real quick though, before we get into the mechanics of this microscopic menace, here's our standard medical disclaimer. This explainer discusses serious mosquito-borne diseases like malaria, dengue, and Zika. This is purely for educational purposes, so for any actual medical advice, please always consult a healthcare professional. All right, moving on. Section 1. Anatomy of a bite. Understanding the microscopic heist. If you've ever been bitten, and let's be real, we all have, you've been the victim of a perfectly evolved microscopic heist. But get this, it's vital to understand exactly who is pulling off this heist, because there's a massive difference between the sexes here. Male mosquitoes? Totally harmless to us. They have these large, bushy antennae designed just to sniff out females, and they live strictly on sugary flower nectar, which actually makes them surprising pollinators. Females, on the other hand, well, they also drink nectar for daily energy, but most species desperately need the dense proteins and amino acids found in our blood to develop their eggs. Without our blood, they just can't reproduce. It's purely a maternal instinct, but tragically, it's during this feeding process that dangerous pathogens get transmitted.
So, the crucial point is how they actually get that blood. It isn't just a simple needle prick like you might think. A female mosquito uses a highly complex, 6-part mouthpart called a proboscis. First, an outer sheath guides the machinery. Then, she uses microscopic, serrated blades to literally saw through your skin, while other tools hold the tissue apart. It's wild. But here's the craziest part of the whole process. Before she even starts drinking, she injects her saliva right into your bloodstream. This saliva contains a crazy chemical cocktail that numbs the pain and stops your blood from clotting. That saliva is exactly what leaves that annoying itchy bump, and if she's carrying a virus like dengue or Zika, that saliva is exactly how it enters your body.
Section 2. The aquatic life cycle. From water to the air. Once the female gets her protein-rich blood meal, she flies off to begin the next phase of her life. And this brings us to the aquatic life cycle, which might be one of the most misunderstood parts of mosquito biology. They don't just magically appear out of thin air. They rely entirely on standing water. Mosquitoes undergo a complete metamorphosis, kind of like a butterfly, broken down into 4 distinct stages. First, females lay their eggs, sometimes hundreds of them at once, directly in or near stagnant water. Within a couple of days, they hatch into larvae. These guys are often called wigglers. They swim around eating algae, but amazingly, they breathe atmospheric air using a little tube on their tail that acts exactly like a tiny snorkel. After about a week, they morph into pupae, or tumblers. During this stage, they stop eating entirely and just tumble through the water to dodge predators while their bodies completely reorganize. Finally, the adult winged insect emerges right off the surface of the water, takes flight, and the whole cycle repeats. Just a tiny puddle, a clogged gutter, or an old tire can host this entire process in just 2 weeks. Section 3. The Wolbachia weapon. Nature's biological hero.
Okay, here is where the story shifts from a horror movie into a brilliant scientific thriller. To stop these diseases, scientists have turned to nature itself, discovering what we can genuinely call a biological hero. Enter Wolbachia. So what is it? Wolbachia is a naturally occurring, completely harmless bacterium that already lives inside more than half of all insect species on Earth. Scientists affectionately call it a selfish bacterium because it's evolved these incredible tricks just to ensure its own survival and spread. And the most astonishing trick of all? When Wolbachia is inside a mosquito's gut, it actively suppresses and outcompetes deadly human viruses like dengue, Zika, and chikungunya. It essentially acts as a natural biological shield. The viruses just can't replicate, which means the mosquito can no longer transmit them to us.
So let's dive into how scientists are actually deploying this in the real world.
There are two incredibly clever strategies here. The first is population replacement. Basically, scientists take mosquitoes that naturally spread disease and infect them with Wolbachia in a lab. Then they release both males and females into the wild. As they breed, Wolbachia spreads rapidly through the local population, effectively neutralizing the threat of disease transmission over time. The second strategy is the incompatible insect technique, or IIT for short. This is essentially mosquito birth control. Scientists release only Wolbachia-infected males. When these males mate with wild, uninfected females, the Wolbachia bacteria actually modifies the male's sperm. The result? The wild female's eggs simply never hatch, causing the local mosquito population to absolutely plummet.
Section 4. Real-world success stories, saving humans and habitats.
Now, this isn't just some theoretical lab science. It is actively happening right now and yielding incredible results. Let's look at a few real-world success stories where this science is saving both humans and fragile habitats today. Back in 2011, scientists rolled out the population replacement strategy in Queensland, Australia, which used to be a major hotspot for dengue fever. They released the Wolbachia-carrying mosquitoes into local neighborhoods, and the result was nothing short of miraculous. The bacteria established itself permanently into the wild population, and today, local dengue infections in that region have all but completely vanished. It worked so well that variations of this method have since expanded to over a dozen countries globally.
But it's not just human lives on the line here. Over in Hawaii, these beautiful, endangered native birds called honeycreepers are currently being driven to the brink of extinction by avian malaria, which is spread by an invasive mosquito species. Because these birds have absolutely no natural immunity, a single bite can be fatal in a matter of weeks. To save them, scientists are utilizing that incompatible insect technique we just talked about. By releasing thousands of Wolbachia-infected males, they are actively crashing the invasive mosquito populations in the forests of Maui and Kauai, literally buying these precious birds the time they so desperately need to recover. Section 5. Complex ecosystems and challenges, the unintended consequences.
Of course, whenever humans interact with nature, it's rarely perfectly simple, right? As we look at these brilliant solutions, we also have to examine the complex ecological webs and the ongoing challenges we face when fighting mosquitoes. And scientists have discovered two highly unexpected twists. First up, droughts. You think less rain equals fewer mosquitoes and less disease, right? Actually, it's a paradox. During severe droughts, natural water sources dry up, which forces egg-laying females into human residential areas in a desperate search for water. We're talking pet bowls, bird baths, or irrigation meters. This brings them way closer to humans, spiking disease transmission. Second twist, pollution. Scientists recently found that aquatic mosquito larvae are ingesting our microplastics. The plastics build up in their system and delay their growth. But here is the truly terrifying part. The mosquitoes that survive and emerge into adulthood have been observed to be significantly more aggressive blood feeders. Let that sink in. Our own pollution is literally making our deadliest predators hungrier.
Which brings us to our final, provocative thought for today. Mosquitoes are menaces. Yes, for sure. But they are also pollinators and a massive food source for fish, birds, and bats. They transfer tons of biological energy from water to land. As our scientific tools, like Wolbachia, become sophisticated enough to entirely crash local populations of these deadly predators, we have to ask ourselves, what happens to the broader, deeply interconnected ecosystems that rely on them? It's a really delicate balance between saving millions of human lives and pulling a thread in the web of nature. It's an incredible biological frontier, and one we will undoubtedly be watching closely. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.